Hi everybody, welcome to today's class. Our guinea pig for today will be Tracy. We're going to stand up nice and comfortable, shoulders staying open, chin slightly in. As you can see, feet nice and comfortably apart. About fist width or about your hip width, so the outside of your feet is the same distance or same vertical line as your hips and your shoulders. Nice and open, not going to move yet, we're just going to fill up those lungs. So nice deep inhale, expanding that chest, opening up to the side. And as we close, we feel those ribs compressing into those lungs, still keeping the shoulders loose, knees nice and relaxed. And again, deep inhale, opening up that chest, and we slowly exhale out. Nice long exhale through, closing those ribs around those lungs. And again, last three in, and a long exhale. We're just trying to calm that body down, get ready for what we're going to do. And last two, open, standing up nice and tall, not swaying forward with the hips or any part, and closing those lungs. And last one, deep inhale, and a long exhale out. And start getting a bit of flexion in the spine, or a bit of movement. Tracy's head's going to fall over to the left side. Spine's going to come along. She's going to bend almost like a piece of bamboo. Left arm's going to hang heavy out the shoulder. The front or the right shoulder doesn't fall forward. It stays in line with that spine. So there's no unnecessary twisting in that midsection. Nice and heavy in the left foot, 2, 1. And then slowly standing up, rebuilding that spine from the base. Now we're going over to the other side, head falls over, make these nice and easy. Don't feel like you're forcing yourself or throwing it in. Nothing activating at the top of that neck, shoulder. This is staying pulled down towards those hips. And we slowly stand up once again from the base, nice and tall. Head tips over to the left side, heavy out that head, arm hanging loose, out that shoulder, nice and loose. Nothing holding on there. We don't want this arm to be too stiff or too rigid. Nice and relaxed, and slowly up. Very good, tipping over to the right, head falls over. Now we're curving that spine. So it's more important what the spine gets to do, not so much what the shoulders and torso are doing, as much as what the spine shape is creating. And slowly up. Going over to the last one on each side, head falls over to the left. Nice and heavy. Now staying in that position, this left arm is nice and relaxed. We're going to bring this right arm over the top, keeping that extension out. Now nothing twists in the hips, still staying out the neck. We're just getting this arm to have a bit more weight on this side. Weight slightly on the left foot a bit more, but we're still keeping that right foot heavy, so it doesn't feel like it's lifting up. Heavy on the left foot, keep it there, 3, 2, 1, and slowly up. Lower the arm down. Good, so the arm stays up until we get back to straight up, then we lower it down. The left arm stays down for now. We start only with the spine, tipping over to the right, weight staying or shifting a little bit onto that right foot. Shoulder not rolling forward, still staying almost in a nice between two planes of glass. You can only fall to the side, don't get to fall forward or back, keeping the weight on that right foot. Left arm goes high, nicely above the head, getting a bit more weight onto that right side, so it's nice and heavy. Weight in that right foot a little bit more, nice and heavy. Keep it there, 3, 2, 1, keeping that arm up, and we slowly restack that spine up, nice and tall. Very good. I'm going to ask you to turn and face the mirror for me. We're just going to do a bit of roll out now. We specifically want to see the shape we try and create through that spine. Don't want to feel like you're moving your body or your torso like it's a piece of wood, like it's a plank. We want to feel like we're really focusing on getting that curve in that spine. We're going to start with the thoracic part. Cervical will start at thoracic, and then we'll try and get as much as we can in that lumbar area. Deep inhale, tucking the chin in towards the chest. We start melting down and a little bit forward. Don't feel like all the weight's being pushed back into the heels. Curving from this mid-back, we start getting that mid-back, lumbar spine quite tight at the base. That's fine, trying to get to the bottom. Knees stay relaxed. We don't want to feel like there's too much pulling on those hamstrings. We want to keep it nice and comfortable. Now the good fun part, when we rebuild the spine, you're going to feel these muscles from the base of the spine pulling us up. Hips go slightly forward, so we keep the weight in the toes, and we slowly start restacking that spine up every little vertebra. Chin stays until the very end. We open up those shoulders. Head comes up. Very good. And again, tuck that chin, curving forward, getting the weight nicely in front of those hips, rolling through it. Weight stays in the toes, hanging into those feet. Nice and relaxed. Arms are loose, shoulders are loose. Good. Just dangling at the bottom there. Knees stay nice and soft so we can get as much flexion out that spine, really stretching these muscles in the back. 2, 1, and then slowly restack up nice and tall. Rebuilding that spine, shoulders staying loose. Just hanging out those sockets, opening up, shoulders open, chin comes back up, nice and tall. Good, last 3. In and tuck the chin, melting forward, so we're melting down. Feel a bit of contraction, but gravity's helping us quite a bit, keeping those arms and shoulders out the neck, hanging in front, arms staying dangling, especially when you get to the bottom. If you touch your toes, great. If you don't, not a problem. Not about how deep we get, but how much curvature we can get in the spine, really stretching out those muscles that keep us upright. And we're coming back up, rebuilding on top of those hips. Weight is slightly in the toes as well. We're doing these nice and slow. Don't want to feel like we're rushing through it. Try to relax that body and really get it to start warming up and get a bit of mobility. Last two, tucking that chin, a nice heavy forward motion through the spine, heavy in the torso, keeping the weight in front, into those toes, hanging forward into those hips. Nice and heavy, shoulders staying loose and relaxed, hanging into the toes for 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly rebuilding up again. We start from the base of that hip, all the way up, pulling nice and smooth. Nice and slow, opening up that back. Shoulders stay open. Nice and relaxed, standing up tall. Last one, and deep inhale, tucking the chin, curving forward. Weight gets in front, hanging into those feet. Arms are loose, dangling next to the shoulders. Weight slightly in the toes. Keeping it heavy there. For a nice 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to warm up our sides a bit and our back still. So both arms are going to go onto her right shin. We're going to grab the right ankle, right knee, whatever between the knee and the ankle, wherever you're most comfortable. We're going to start straightening that right leg, and we're going to keep that left leg bent. Just getting a bit of straightness. If we can't get this right leg straight, do hold it a little bit higher. As we get through the motion or through the reps, we can get a little bit deeper as those muscles are stretched a bit and warmed up. Keeping that leg straight, 3, 2, 1, bend the right leg. Both arms switch over to the left side. Let's straighten that left leg. Going to keep the right leg nicely bent. So we're really getting a nice stretch on that left leg, back of that hamstring getting a bit of a pull, which in turn pulls at the back of that hip a little bit, especially at the base of that pelvis. Keeping it there, 2, 1, and bend that left leg, moving it back over to the right, grabbing the ankle and straighten that right leg. Also getting a bit of a twist or a horizontal twist in that spine, not a rotation, just more of a slide across, which helps with just pulling a bit more on that other side as well. Keeping this right leg straight, really getting that pull out the back, so nothing happening in the neck. Bend that right leg, grabbing the left ankle once again, and straighten that left leg. Getting that stretch at the back of that hamstring. Going to be a bit tight, that's fine. If it's really, really tight, just hold it there. No need to push, 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 push. Want to keep it gradually increasing in its flexibility. 2, 1, and let's bend that left leg. Let's go over to the last side each way. Right leg gets grabbed, and straighten that right leg. Getting that double, or getting that stretch at the back of that leg, nice and relaxed. Focus on your breathing. Don't feel like you're panicking or holding your breath. It's nice and calm, nice and relaxed, nice and easy. Keeping it heavy in that foot. A bit of weight also shifted into our toes. We don't want to feel like we're just rocking all the way back into the heels. Just keep it there. 3, 2, 1, and bend that right leg. Going over, grabbing that left side. Nice and relaxed. Let's straighten that left leg. Getting a good extension out the back of that left leg. Keeping that pull for nice while, just so we can feel that muscle slowly releasing, nice and easy. Keeping that pull for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bend that leg. Now last 2, let's grab both ankles. Left hand grabs left shin, right hand grabs right shin, and let's try and straighten both legs out. Getting that extension out those legs, keeping that length. Gonna pull, it's gonna be tight, especially pull the back of the calf, back of that knee. 3, 2, 1, and bend. And last one, and straighten both legs, keeping that pull, length out the back of those legs for a nice 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and bend both legs, let go of the shins, and let's slowly restack that spine up, nice and tall, all the way up. Good. Now we've got side flexion of the spine. I'm going to ask Tracy to face the camera once again. Now we've got the side twist, we've got the flexion forward. We want to get a bit of a corkscrew rotation warm up. Ask Tracy to interlace her fingers, place them behind her head while we're standing. Now when the arms go above the head or above the shoulders, tendency is to get into that neck. We're going to try and avoid that. So this stays pulling towards those ribs. Nothing changes in your mid back. Tendency is when the arms go above there, we have a tendency to poke your ribs out. Want those abs to hold on to the ribs and pull that pelvis forward so that alignment in the back can be nice and stable and straight. Don't want to feel like we're like super arching it there. We're going to be twisting in the midsection, which means we're going to twist the ribs, which in turn twist that spine. We're going to do it nice and smooth. Head pushing a little bit back into the hands. We're going to twist to the left a little bit. Keeping the hips square. So imagine your hips are nicely in a vice. Nothing gets to change there. And then back to center. Over to the right. Very good. Twisting from the mid back and back to the middle. And over to the left now. Nice and smooth through it. Twisting, keeping it onto the left. 3, 2, 1, back to center. Over to the right. And back to center. Now we're going to do the same, but we're not going to stop in the middle. Twist to the left so we can control it. Don't feel like you're throwing momentum into it. Twisting all the way to the right. Pulling from that oblique, twisting us. And again, over to the left. No stopping in the middle. Very good. Shoulders are still down, out of that neck. And twisting across to the right. Nice and easy. And last one each way, over to the left. And across all the way to the right. Nice and smooth. Good. And then back to center. Lowering down. Good. Let's stretch out our forearms a little bit. Lower your hands down. Take your right palm. Grab your right hand's fingers with your left hand. Now you're going to push it so you can push that palm forward. Now keep in that position. Now we're going to twist the fingers into the center of the body a little bit. It's almost like it's a clock going anti-clockwise. And we want to keep that rotation. Now it's not about how far we pull our fingertips back, more about the rotation. So we can really get this forearm to start loosening up, stretching a bit. Might go up into the shoulder if we're really, really tight. Don't have to break your fingers back. Stretching a bit of the fingertips as well, but that's not the main area we want to work on. 2, 1, and relax. Changing arms. Left palm goes up, right hand grabs the left fingertips, and we push that palm away from us, and we twist that fingertip into the center of the body. Now nothing goes into the neck still. Basically doing well, yeah. Nothing changing in the spine, it's only into that forearm. Arm can be high, can be low, wherever you feel comfortable with it, just as long as we get in that twist and rotation. And relax. Let's do one last one each way. Right palm, fingertips pulling back, getting a bit of that rotational twist in that forearm. Keeping it nice and relaxed. Just a nice comfortable pull, not going to force it. 3, 2, 1, and switching over. Good, good pull through it. Nice and relaxed. Keeping that heavy, nice pull, flexion in those fingertips. Keeping that stretch for 3, 2, 1, and relax both hands. Good. So I'll ask you to lie on your back for me, please. Head this side. Good. When we're lying on our back, it's the same as when we're standing up straight. We want good alignment posture. We're going to turn those palms to face upwards, opening up that chest a little bit. Back of the neck, we want as long as we can, so we don't feel like we're scrunching it up. Chin goes down, therefore, so we can have that nice length out the back of the neck. Feet are hip width apart, nicely in line with the body. Move that foot a little bit back, so that everything is as aligned as we can. If the feet are too long, the hips start to be a bit out of alignment. Shoulders then have to compensate, neck, so it cascades up. So we can start from the head or the base, but we want to have that good straight alignment. We're going to work with this left side now, lifting that left leg up to tabletop, just to warm it up a little bit. Now we're going to keep it elevated there, nice and relaxed. Arm goes up towards the ceiling, nice and pointing. Now those arms are going to stay where they are. We're only going to be moving in the lower part of the body, but we want to keep those arms nice and active, just so that they work a little bit. So we lower that left leg down and up once again. Keeping that nice L shape. Foot doesn't go too high. We're going to do 3 more of these just to get that mobility. Lower down and lifting up. Last 2 and lower and lift. And last one, lower that left leg down and lift that left leg up. Now keeping it heavy, right hip doesn't get to pop. We move this left leg out to the side a little bit. Now we don't want the foot to lead the way, and we don't want the foot to be left behind. We want to move it as a unit to the side and back to center. And open that left leg out to the side. Good. And back in the middle. And open. And in. Very nice. And opening up. And back to center. And open. Good mobility through the hip and back into the middle. And open to the side. And back to center. And open. And and center, last 3, open to the side, and center, last 2, and center, and last 1, open to the side, keep it there. Now keeping that leg on the side is going to get a bit of work, going to work a bit through our arms now. Arms go back overhead. Nothing in the shoulder, doesn't have to go too low, doesn't have to go all the way to touching the floor, just above is fine, and bring those arms back above the shoulders. Don't want to feel like they're just hanging in the sockets, want to feel like they're actually reaching a little bit up. And we move those arms back overhead, and then up towards the ceiling again. Good. And move it back, and back up. Don't want to go too low. Good. And back behind us. Still got this left leg out to the side, so that inside that thigh is really having to hold on. And let both arms go overhead, and back up. And last 4, moving back, and in. Let's do our final 3 of those arms back, and in, 2 left, and back, and in. Last 1, arms go overhead, and arms above the shoulders. Still keeping that left leg up. We're going to move it back into the center and lower it down, just to give it a bit of a breather there. Same leg once again, left leg comes up. Now we are going to change it up a little bit. Foot stays where it is, knee goes out to the side. So now there's a rotation in that leg. So it's opening up the thigh, foot doesn't turn, foot stays where it is, can turn, and leg comes back into the center. So it's a nice little rotation in that hip, and twist to the side, and back to center. Now as much as rotation we can get, as long as we keep this right hip down, and twist that knee out to the side. So from the front, it would look something like that, as that leg turns out to the side, and back to the middle, and open, and center. So the foot doesn't go with, it stays behind, and back, and open to the side, and back in. So we're getting that nice little bit of glute activation. Also the thighs, inside thighs, having to hold on as that leg gets away from us, holding on to that gravity, pulling it down. Last 4, open to the side, and center. 3 to go, open, and center. Tracy doing a good job of keeping that pelvis stable. 2 to go, and open to the side, and center. And last 1, open that knee up, foot stays at the same height, doesn't need to drop. Now we keep that knee out once again. Going to start moving those arms once again, going overhead behind us, and back above the shoulders. And arms go overhead. So we get that mobility. Also, the further our hands get away from us, abs have to hold on. Our back wants to arch. Those midsection muscles have to keep doing their job. And lift above the shoulders. Move those arms back overhead, and bringing them above the shoulder once again, and moving back and over the shoulders again. Good. Last 3, moving back and over the shoulders. Last 2, and back and up, and last 1, moving those arms back, hold it there. 3, 2, 1, bring those shoulders back, bring that knee back into the center, lower that left leg down. We've got 1 more left to do, same leg, lifting that left leg up. Now the knee is going to try and stay where it is. We're going to move that foot out to the side a little bit, and back in, and open, and center, and open. So a bit more of an internal rotation, not a lot of weight off the knee, it's just that foot is moving out to the side, so we're getting that twist in it. Glutes are going to still hold on as they help us get that rotation a little bit. Let's do our last 6, and we go 5, 4, doing well, just a twist in that hip, 3, and we say 2, and 1, back to center, lower that left leg down. Good, those arms are still active, they're staying up nice and tall. Let's go over to the other side. Right leg comes up to tabletop. Just going to warm up this right side first and lower down. As we can see, left hip isn't doing any movement. There's no seesawing side to side. Right leg comes up, arms still active, up towards the ceiling, and lower down. Last 3, and lifting up that right leg. Keep that knee nice and high, and lower down. Last 2, and lift, and lower. Last 1, and lifting up that right leg. Keep it there. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now keeping that leg. Now both the knee and the foot move out away from the center of the body at the same time, moving towards me. So opening up that hip, keeping that left hip as down as we can, inside the thigh, holding on as that leg gets heavy. Let's draw it back into the center, and open to the side, and center. Arms are still alive. So we're focusing on all those little areas at the same time, even though we're only moving our hips or our legs inside that hip and back to the middle. And open up to the right and center. Very good. So it's a small action, as much range as you can get, but we don't want to feel like we're throwing our leg out or back to the middle. We want to feel it's in control. Hip doesn't get to change. That's our main focus. And back to the center. Arms still alive. Last 4, open and center. 3 to go, open to the side and center. Last 2, open and center. And last 1 and open to the side. Keep it there. 3, 2, 1. Now we keep that leg out to the side. Arms go overhead once again. So those arms are working the whole time. And back to the top. And overhead. And back to the top. If you feel like your arms, you want to get a bit more work in them, you can hold water bottles, or if you have weights, put them in your hands. Don't go too heavy. As long as we don't break the integrity of that spine. And arms go behind us. And back overhead. And extend those arms out. Legs still out to the side, really working on that hip. And arms come up above the shoulders. And pressing those arms back. And back above the shoulders. Good. Last 3. And opening up above the head. And back. Last 2. And back overhead. And in. And last 1. Arms go overhead. Keep them long. 3, 2, 1. Back above the shoulders. Knee comes in. Now knee gets to move only. We're stabilizing this, or we're keeping this foot nice and stationary. Tracy's going to open her right knee out to the side. So there's a bit of a rotation. Still keeping this top, or this right foot that's up, in the center of the body. So imagine there's an artificial line that's holding you there. Bring that knee back into the center. Good. And open to the side. Good. So it's a rotation in that hip now. We're opening up with the inside of that thighs, holding on, glutes doing the work. And back to center. And we open up to the side. Nice mobility through it. And back into the middle. And open that knee up to the side. Good. And back to the center. And open up. And middle. Good work through it. And open that leg up. Nice movement through the hip. And back to center. And open up. And middle. Let's do our final 4. And open up to the side. And back in. 3 left. And open. And center. Last 2. Opening up. And back. And last 1. Open to the side. Keep it there now. Keep it, keep it, keep it. Arms now again. Get your work. Going overhead. And back above the shoulders. So nice smooth action through the back of that blade. And arms go overhead. Hips staying square, especially on that left side. Not popping up. And arms come above the shoulders again. Moving behind us. And arms above the shoulders once again. And arms back. And lift those arms above the shoulders. And last 5, overhead. And up. Last 4, back. And up. 3 left. And those arms go overhead. And back. Last 2. And extend back. And over. And last 1. Keep those arms ahead. Keep it there. 3, 2, 1. Bring those arms back in. Knee comes back into the center. Knee stays stable now. We're just rotating that leg inside that hip. Foot goes out to the right. So it's a small action, as much range. One leg might be a bit more rangy than the other. And back into center. That depends on how much activation we get in the center of that leg. Or the inside of that leg. And open that foot to the side. Back to center. And right out to the right. And back to center. And out to the right. Good smooth action in that hip. And back to center. And foot goes out to the right. Knee stays where it is. And back to center. Knee doesn't move. Foot goes out to the right. And center. Last 3. Opening up. And center. 2 on its way. Back out to the side. And in. And last 1. Opening up. And back to center. And lower that right leg down. And lower those arms to the floor. Good. Palms can now rotate downwards. Still want to feel like we're pushing a bit into the floor, but not rolling this chest closed. Want to feel like it's still open. Legs are nice and comfortable. We're going to be working to our single legs now. Left leg's going to come up to tabletop. Good. Now keeping that leg bent as it is, we're going to start lifting these hips up. We're not going to do the whole lift yet. We're only going to do a small lift, so we can really start getting into that glute a little bit, so we can start doing a bit more work from us. So we're going to first flatten that lower back first, using those abdominals. Good. Now we start lifting up those hips a little bit. Pause there. We're going to keep it there. We're not going to go too high. And then we slowly go down, going back and forth. Don't roll back into neutral. Always keep this tuck. And slightly lifting off. Pause there. and lower down. So very little height to begin with. We're going to work through the whole spine, but we're only doing the bottom, the deep range now. Still keeping this leg nice and high. Lifting up. Just those hips off, good. 2, 1, and lower down. And we're lifting up. Hips just off, perfect. 2, 1, and lower. This right leg's going to work hard. Back of that hamstring's going to work, glute as well. Pushing quite hard. With the foot, you want to keep a bit of weight into that big toe. Don't want to have all the weight on the outside of the foot. And let's lift those hips just off. And lower down, very good. And lifting up, just off, nice height. And lower down. And lifting up. And lower, nice and smooth through it, good. And lift. And lower. So it's a very small lift, just the beginning, last 2, lift. And lower down. And last one, lift. And lower down. Very good. All the way back in, rock into that neutral. Give that glute a bit of a chance. Left leg staying up still. Now we can get a little bit higher. Left leg pressing, or the left leg stays up, right leg pushing up. Pelvis comes a little bit off. Now a little bit higher. Good. And we can get all the way to our normal pelvic curl height. We're going to keep that height. Abs are being holding onto those ribs. And lower down. All the way down. But don't rock out of neutral. So it goes down and you keep that tuck. And again, lifting up all the way. Left leg stays high. Right leg doing all the work. And lower down. Hips go nicely. But they're keeping that tuck. And we're lifting up. And lower down. Good work. Right leg's going to do all the work for us here. And lifting up once again. And lower down. Nice and smooth through it. And we're lifting up. Nice and easy. Good. And lower. Nice and smooth. Last 4. Lift. Just getting that height. Nice alignment in that spine. And lower down. 3 to go. And lifting up. Those hips. Right foot working hard. 2, 1. And lower down. Last 2. And lift. And lower down. And last 1. Lifting up those hips. Keep the height. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to work that right leg a little bit harder. Arms go up above the head. Good. Just going to hold it there. Nothing fancy. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower both arms down. Support again. And slowly rolling down. Now we go out of that tuck. Back to neutral. Left leg goes down to the floor. Good. We can do the same action now. Right leg's turn to work, or right leg's turn to relax a bit. Left leg's turn to work. Right leg comes up to tabletop. Nice opening in the chest still. Hands pressing down, shoulders are nice and open. Not going to move. Now when we lift the hips up, we don't want to have this hip that's not supported start to drop. We want to keep them nice and level. So that's a lot of obliques and abs having to keep those hip bones at the same level. Right leg stays up at tabletop. Left leg presses heavily into the floor. Now we're just going to do the small lift to begin with. Lift those hips, tuck that pelvis first, and we lift those hips just off. Good, pausing there, not too high. Base that glute, basically as the glute leaves the floor, that's the height I want to keep all that activation and that low range. And slowly go down. Don't let it go out of the tuck, keep that tuck, no back, pivoting to neutral, and we're lifting up those hips just off the floor. Keep that height, 2, 1, and slowly down. Very good. And we're lifting those hips just off. Keep the height just off the ground. Glute on the left leg really working there. And lower down. Arms are pushing a bit into the floor. Opening up that chest still. And lift. Hips just come off. Nice. Yes. And lower down. A bit of work as that glute has to work to get us off. And again, lifting up. And slowly down. Nice and smooth. And we're lifting off. Get that hip just off the ground. And lower down. Let's do our final 4. Hips just comes off, left leg working just in that small range. And lower down. Last 3. And up. And slowly going down. 2 left. Hips still staying square. Not getting the right hip to drop at all. Last 2. Lift. And lower. And last 1. And lifting those hips just off. Don't go too high. 3, 2, 1. And lower down. Rocking back to neutral. Don't lower the right leg. It stays up still. Now we're going to go all the way up into that nice pelvic curl body position, more straight, but keeping that pelvis holding on with those abdominals, a little bit of that tuck. And again, we tuck that pelvis, flattening the lower back first. Start lifting up those hips, peeling off that spine as we do, getting into that good posture or that position of that spine. 2, 1, slowly going down. But when we touch, we don't rock out of neutral. We keep that tuck with those abs. And lifting up, peeling off, left glute doing the work for us. One leg might be stronger than the other, might activate better. and slowly lowering down, that's fine. Bodies are a bit balanced, and we're peeling off, heavy in that left foot, peeling up, getting that glute to work on that left side, keeping the height, 3, 2, 1, and slowly lowering down, nice and smooth to it, and peeling off, kick those hips up, glute working on that left side, 3, 2, 1, and slowly lowering down, and we're peeling off, get those hips up, glute on the left side working, keep it there, 3, 2, 1, and slowly down, and last one, and lifting up, keeping up the hip, and we're going to keep that height, arms go up towards the ceiling, holding on for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower the arms down first, support the body, and then slowly descend that hip into the ground, nice and smooth, right leg goes down to the floor. Good. Feet stay where they are, let's interlace those fingers, let's get a bit more objectively targeted at the bottom of those, or the top of those, bottom of the ribs, top of those abdominals, interlace the fingers, place them behind the head, so we can support that head and neck, and we're not going to pull on that neck. By pulling on the neck, we're not going to actually help ourselves up. We are going to fold at the midsection, going to work a bit more into the endurance for those abdominals. First, we just want to warm them up, let them know that we're coming for them, and we lift that torso up, folding at those ribs. Blades come almost just off the floor. Now, nothing has changed in the knees, nothing has changed in the pelvis, nothing is turning here, and lower down. Let's do our final 3, and lifting up, Tracy doing well, not pulling on that neck, head is nice and heavy. What your eye line can be is either at the top of your knees or just skimming above the knees. Don't want to feel like we're looking too much into the thighs, and we're really going to start pulling on that neck and lower down. Last 2, and we're lifting up that chest, folding at those ribs, torso's off, eye line just above the knees, looking sort of at a 35-degree angle, and lower down. Last 1, and lifting up, get that height out that torso, and then keep it there for 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Now we're going to start getting a bit of movement with our arms as we've done before. When we return with our hands, so they're going to extend out above us and then back in, do support that neck again. Neck's going to work a little bit, muscles in the neck might strain, but it shouldn't hurt your neck. Your neck muscles are there to hold up your head. We just don't use them enough. And lifting up that torso, keeping it high. Now arms extend up towards the ceiling. And we bring them back. Now we're not lowering down that chest, we just keep it high. And arms go above the head. And bring those arms back in. And extend those arms up. And bring those hands back. Very good. And extend them out. And back in. Last 3, straighten. And back in. 2 to go. And straighten. And back in. And last 1. And straighten those arms. Bring them back behind the head. And lower that torso. Very good. We're going to work that endurance in those abs. Let's do another set of those. And we're lifting up that torso. Arms go up towards the ceiling. And bring them back. And extend. And back in. And extend. And back. And extend out. And back in. Good work through it. And extend, reach. And back. Last 2. Reaching out. And back in. And last 1. Keep those arms there. 3, 2, 1. Bring them back in. And lower that torso down. Good. Now we're going to add a bit of rotational endurance as well. We're going to lift up. We're going to rotate to one side. Once we're there, we're going to extend our arms now, not above us, but in front of us towards our knees, and then back in. We'll see how we do on this one. We're going to start by going to our left side. Now when we twist, the body has a tendency to twist the whole body. Knees come along, they cascade or they counterweight us onto the right side. Want to keep the rotation minimal. Your eye line is looking just past your left knee. Doesn't have to be too massive a turn. We're not just rotating with the neck either. Lifting up that torso and rotate to the left. Now keeping that height, straighten both arms in front of you. Bring them back behind the head. And straighten both arms. Keeping that height still. And bring it back in. And straighten. You'll see Tracy's right hand almost touching the outside of the left knee. And bringing him back in. And last 4, straighten. Very good. Back in. And straighten. And in. Last 2. And extend. Back in. And last 1. Straighten those arms out. Bend those arms back in. Twist to the center. And lower down. We're going to do another set. Same side. We're getting that double workout. No rest between. And lifting up that torso. Twist to the left. Both arms go out in front of us. So almost like we're throwing a beach ball at someone. And then we bring it back. And extend out. And back in. and extend both arms ahead of us and back. And reaching out and back in, good work. And extend both arms, last 3, and in, 2, that left side's really working, and back in, last 1, straighten, back in, back to center, and lower down. Now when we lower down, we don't want to feel like the abs are popping out or we're arching into the mid-back. We want to keep that nice and contained still, so those abs never really completely let go. Same action, we're just going over to the right now, folding at those ribs, lifting up. Then we add that twist, nothing changes in the knees or the hips. And then straighten both arms out in front of us and bring them back behind the head, supporting that neck. And straighten both. Good, and bringing it back. And straightening both out. And back in, very nice. And last 5, extend and back. 4 to go, reaching out and back. Those abs are really going to still the work. Last 3, and back. 2 left, and extend. And back in, last 1, and straighten. Bring those arms back, twist to the middle, and lower down. Last set, we're almost done with the abs. So almost there. Deep inhale, and lifting up that chest. Twist to the right, knees don't move. Straighten both arms out, and back in. And straighten, and back in. Still keeping that good height, neck is nice and working as well. And straighten, and back in. Very good. Reaching for those feet, reaching for those knees, and back in. Last 3. And straightening out and back, 2 left, extend and back in, and last 1, straighten both arms, bring those arms in behind the head, return back to the center and lower down, nice and smooth. Good. Just to stretch out our abs a bit, arms extend overhead, both legs straighten out, and we can breathe in nice and deep. You can actually curve your spine a bit as well, so we get a bit of stretch. And lengthening out those abdominal muscles from the base of that pelvis all the way to those ribs. Really keeping it nice and long all the way. Nice lengthy breaths. Keep it there for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Staying as the honor, we're going to roll over. This one onto our left side, Tracy. Good. We're going to bring that left arm in under our shoulder and we're going to push ourselves up. Legs are going to go almost what they say with like a mermaid would be. Knees are going to be bent. Knees are in front of us though, so I don't want to have my knees all the way in line. We're going to now start moving the body a little bit forward and a little bit to the side. So positioning is going to be a bit of a thing we're going to have to figure out. We're going to be on our hand on our left side, so you can press yourself up on your left hand, Tracy. There we go. So now we're nice and our ribs are nowhere near the floor. We're pressing out of that left shoulder. Now the feet position, imagine your mat is now divided into 2 sections. There's a center line running down the middle. Your hips want to be kind of in the middle when you start, but your feet want to be slightly behind you. So your ankles aren't in line with your hips, and your knees aren't in line with your hips either. Your knees are in front, and your feet are behind, and your hips are in the center of where your shin would be. That alignment is kind of what we're going for. Because as we lift up, but then also the hips swing forward. So we can really get that length out of that spine. We're going to be working a bit of obliques now. The bottom oblique is going to work a little bit harder because that's going to keep us up. This other arm, the right arm, is going to extend out into a nice T position. Don't take that arm too high. There's a tendency for it to reach too up to the ceiling. The angle of the bottom arm will dictate where the right arm goes. We're going to be resting on our knees. So our feet and our knees are going to be our base of support. When we lift up, the bottom hip lifts up and the bottom knee, and then we start extending out. Key points we want to focus on. Obviously the obliques are going to work. This shoulder, I don't want it to collapse. What the collapsed shoulder looks like is we're now leaning into it. Look at this pinching here. That's too much. The integrity of the arm goes away a little bit. We want to keep that nice and long. So you're always pushing the floor away from you. But don't overextend now in this elbow. I don't want to see locks. Locking we just heard in the joint, we're not actually working into that arm. We're not helping the muscles that stabilize the shoulder and the elbow work. We're just letting them relax on bone. Alright, nice and extended. Deep inhale, lifting up those hips. Right arm goes up towards the ceiling, keeping the pressure on the feet and the knees. So this left leg knee is on the floor. That's one of our stability points. And lower down. And as we do, that arm flaps down, back onto the side. And let's go again. Lifting up, arm goes up to the ceiling. Still pushing out of that bottom shoulder. Very good. Opening, working that bottom oblique. And lower down. Remember to breathe. The importance of breath here is that we don't want to run out of it and we start to panic and the body starts to tense. So a nice long exhale as we lift up, and then inhale down. At the top, if you need, you switch breaths in, but we want to get a good exhale as we lift. And again, lifting up that side, pushing out this bottom arm. If your wrist is starting to feel a bit of weight, lower the hips down. You can move that left hand further away, but keep it at a nice comfortable angle so that that angle isn't too sharp, but you will feel a bit of work on that wrist if we don't use our wrists enough in our day. And lifting up those hips once again, pressing out, nice long extension out of there. Bottom obliques working, and lower down. Let's do 4 more. Really get those sides to work a little bit. And lifting up, arms extending nice and long. A good L shape or a straight line there in those arms. And lower down. Last 3, and lifting up. Keep that reach out that arm, and lower down. Last 2, and lifting up, and lower down. Keep that movement going. And last one, we're going to hold for a little bit longer, just for a nice long 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower the hip down. Good. You can bend the left arm now. We're going to swing our feet around or back of us, moving onto the other hip. Good. Positioning again of the body is important. If your knees are too far behind or in line, you're going to feel like you don't have the range to move. And also if your feet are more in line with your spine, you feel a bit confined. So find that middle section so you can end up with a nice straight torso and straight body. Tracy's still pushing out of her right shoulder, arms not locked, keeping it out of that neck. Left arms relaxed as we lift up, deep inhale, lifting up those hips, getting that nice T position in the body. 3, 2, 1, and slowly down. Very good. And again, lifting up, get that nice length out that spine. 2, 1, and slowly lowering down. Lifting up, hips out, arms reaching away. 3, 2, 1, and lower down. And again, lifting up, get those hips up, arms reaching out nice and long. 3, 2, 1, and lower. Last 4, and we're lifting up, get that extension out of that spine at the shoulder and lower down. Last 2, and lift, and lower down, and last 1, and we're lifting up. Keep that high. We're going to hold this one for a little bit longer. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Very good. We're going to get those sides there. We're going to work nice and well. Now we roll onto our stomach. So we flat down on the mat. Legs are straight out behind us. And now we're going to include our arms as well. So arms are straight out in front of us, almost like we're diving into a pool. Now we want to have a position of our palms that they turn to face each other. So the thumbs are facing up towards the ceiling. Do keep those thumbs a little bit tucked in. You may feel a little bit confined in the base or your face against the mat. So if you do, have a towel, put it against your forehead. You can fold it double if you like and place your forehead down. Just so that you give yourself a little bit of space if you feel confined, if you're pressing your nose too much. Otherwise, don't need that. Just relax in this position. Now we're going to start working arms and legs. We're going to work one at a time. Then we're going to start adding some variations and a bit of coordination to it now. Tracy's going to stay relaxed in the legs. Pelvis is a little bit tucked, so we have nice length at the base of that lower spine. Legs aren't doing too much. Left arm's going to, or let's say right arm is going to lift just off the floor. Now height's not important as long as we get working that shoulder and lower down. So we're working basically 1/4 of the back and lifting up that right arm again, just off, good, and lower down. Nothing on the neck. Let's keep that neck relaxed for now. And 1 more to go, and lifting up and lower down. Now we're going to work that shoulder and a bit more of the spine that lifts up the head. So we lift that head up, arm lifts up as well. Good. And lower down. Now tendency might be to push quite a bit with the other arm. A little bit of pressure is not bad, but don't feel like you're doing all the work with that left arm, really trying to pike yourself up. You want to keep these hips square, only working into that shoulder and the neck. Same thing, head and shoulder lift or arm lift off and lower down. So now Tracy's only working that kind of main section, a bit into the mid spine, nothing else is working yet. And lifting that right arm just off and lower down. Last 2 and lift and lower down. Very good. Last 1 and lift. Get that arm off. 3, 2, 1. Lower down. Good. We can work into the left arm a little bit now. Head can stay relaxed for the first 3. And let's lift that left arm just off. Still working only in that, now the opposite shoulder into that left side and lower down. Head still stays relaxed just on this left side and lifting up and slowly down. So it's a small lift, not a massive one. And last one, lifting up. Keep that arm high. 3, 2, 1, and lower down. And now we're going to start lifting the head and that left arm up. Head comes off and the arm comes with it. Good. And lower down. And lifting up. Nice smooth action through it. And lower. Good work. And last 3, lift. Just working into that back and that shoulder. And lower down. 2 left. Lifting off. Very good. And lower down. And last 1. And lifting up. Keep the height for 4. 3, 2, 1. Lower the head. Lower the arm. Now the arms and the head are going to stay relaxed for now. We're going to just work the lower part of the body for a little bit. Let's lift this right leg, keeping it straight just off the floor. Now the height is not as important, just as long as the kneecap has left the ground. Now you'll see nothing has changed in the pelvis here. Working a bit into that hamstring and a bit into the glute. You want to feel like you're moving only from your hip socket, not that anything's bending at the knee or changing at the hip, that anything's turning here. It's just a long lever that's been elevated off the ground. Lower down. Same thing, same leg. Lifting up. Nice height. And lower down. And let's do our final 3. Lifting up. And lower. Last 2. Lifting off. Just that leg for now. Nothing working the shoulders. And lower down. Last 1. And lift. And lower down. Now we're going to do 4 more with this right leg. Left arm's going to lift up as well. And the head's going to lift up. So the parts we worked at the top first, in coordination with this bottom leg. So right leg, left arm, head as well, lifting off and lower down. Good. Nothing breaks here. We're not folding our body at the hips, just that shoulder, just in that hip. Same thing, lifting up and lower down. Good, nice extension still out that leg. 2 to go, lifting off. Good length out of it and lower down. And last 1 and lifting up. Getting that height. Good length out of that leg. 3, 2, 1 and lower down. Now keep those arms relaxed and the head relaxed as well. This leg takes a break. We're working now into that left side. Left leg lifts just off the floor. Nice work. And lower down. And lifting up that left side just off the floor. And lower to the ground. Nice and easy. And lifting up. And lower down. Now we've done that. We're going to increase the complication a little bit. Right arm, right shoulder, head as well. And that left leg we've been practicing now. So right arm, left leg, head lifting off, just off spine. Good. And lower down. And lifting up. And lower. So it's good work through the back of that leg and that shoulder. And lifting off. And lower down. And last 3 or last 2, lift. And lower down. Not too high, just a bit of work warming it up. And last 1, lift. Keep the height. 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower down. Good. Now, as you can see, we've warmed up all the sections. We can work them all together. We want to get a platform where everything is off the ground. Now, it doesn't have to be too high, but we want to have it just off. So a lot of the back's going to work. Then we're going to start alternating in a little bit of a rhythm. So we'll be up. Left arm will go a little bit higher. Right arm will go a little bit higher. And then we're going to change. Have your breath help to guide you. Almost like we're swimming. Alternating our arms, a little bit of coordination at first, but once we get the rhythm, no need to rush through it, just a nice controlled action. So let's start with both arms, the head and both legs just off the floor. Left arm goes a little bit higher, right leg goes a little bit higher, and now we're going to change. Good, switch, change, change. A little bit slower there, change, change, change. So we're just working in that rhythm first, get that coordination. 3, 2, 1, pause. And lower down. Let's do 1 more, nice and slow before we get a bit of a quicker rhythm, really just working on that coordination. Both arms, both legs and the head off the ground. Left arm slightly higher, right arm as well. And let's switch, switch, change, change, switch. Working to the shoulder and the hips all together. Working through that whole back. Remember to breathe. And 4, 3, 2, 1, pause. And lower everything down. We're going to do 1 more set of those. We're going to get a bit more of a rhythm through it now. A bit of a speed part of it, not super fast. We don't want to lose integrity and have the spine start to twist. We're just going to go quicker between those reps. Deep inhale, both arms, head and both legs off. Left arm, right leg slightly higher. And just go change, 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 change. Good. Switch, switch. You're going to keep this going for a little bit longer, so really working into that back. Switch, 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 switch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold, and lower everything down nice and relaxed. Good. Let's push ourselves up now onto our hands and knees, all fours. Good. We want to stretch out our feet a little bit now. Feet are often very tight. Let's dig our toes in. Going to crawl or walk those hands a little bit closer towards the knees. They don't have to be right next to the knees, just a little bit closer. And then we're going to push ourselves back into our feet a little bit. So we're almost on our haunches. We want to feel like we're stretching the top of that foot or the bottom of that foot, stretching the toes, really pushing them back. If it's too much, do rock forward again and then sit back once again into those toes. Just want to stretch those feet a little bit. Try to keep the hand on the floor for me if you can. And then feel like you're pushing with your hands a little bit forward for me. Feel like you're working a bit of shoulder and really pushing yourself into those feet. So we're really working also a bit of shoulder if you want as well. And then we rock forward a little bit, give it a break. And then we press back, getting a bit of pressure, using the floor as a resistance point so we can push a bit into it. As much as the feet will allow, if you're tight, just feel that pull a bit. And keep it nice and relaxed. Into those feet for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and shift a bit forward. And last one, getting that pressure into those toes, keeping that width nice and heavy in those feet. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and shift the weight forward. Now flatten the feet, open those knees up to the side. So we want to have those knees quite wide, so our body can fall between it. Arms are going to crawl a little bit forward, and we're going to push ourselves back. So we're going to stretch the top of that foot now, if we're tight, and we're going to open up these hips a bit. So with the pressure being nice and heavy into the pelvis here, we're going to open up these knees. Open up these knees a bit wider for me. That's it. So you really feel that there's nothing really supporting the body weight. When they get strapped between you, doing all the work for us. Heavy in those hips, opening them up a little bit. Relaxing the shoulders. Don't want to feel like we're working too much there or holding onto too much. Nice and relaxed. Really feel the body melting into the position, nice and loose. Keeping it relaxed. 3, 2, 1, and crawling or walk those hands a little bit back. Last one, we're going to open those knees a little bit wider just to get a bit more of an opening. Really opening up that pelvis, and we drop our body down. Arms are extended out in front of us. Relaxing heavy into those shoulders and into those knees. Keeping that loose. Hanging heavy for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and press yourself up. Bring those knees back into the center. Bring the weight forward so that the shoulders are over the wrists. Left palm is going to go up towards the ceiling. We're going to start twisting that body under the shoulder. We're going to rotate, turning, bit of weight goes back towards the feet. Right arm relaxes once we're in that position. We're just opening up that back, getting a nice relaxing twist out of it. Getting that breath to calm. We're starting to cool down the body. Keeping it nice and relaxed, getting a nice twist through it, not forcing it at all. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and let's drag that hand back. Right palm goes up, and we twist to the right. Getting that nice rotation, shoulders heavy, arm is loose, hanging into that spine. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drag that hand back. Left palm up, and we twist. Last one each way. A nice smooth rotation, getting that twist, getting that spin in that spine. 3, 2, 1, drag that hand back. Right palm goes up, and twisting across under that armpit. Bit of weight goes back, opening up the shoulder. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and drawing that hand back all the way. Now we're going to do a little bit of side twist on the side. Right palm goes off the mat onto the tile. Left hand on top so it doesn't get to move. Anchoring it down. Press those hips back. Getting that nice length out that spine. Keeping that reach out of those shoulders. We'll keep this one for long. We're going to do one each side. So nice 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Getting that breath to calm us down. Let's shift the weight back towards the hands. Opposite side of the mat. Left hand goes all the way over. Right hand on top. And press those hips back. Opening up that spine. Keeping that reach out the torso. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and shift the weight forward. Hands come in front of the knees. Reaching for the front edge of the mat a little bit more so it's kind of anchored down ahead of us. And now we do our last one. Push those hips back. Keeping that length out the spine. Long one, we're going to keep it here. Remember to breathe. Nicely relax through it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And shift the weight forward. Walk those hands back towards those knees a bit. Sit back onto your haunches. Compress your body into almost like a spring. Going to be in our rest position now, so elbows next to us, nice and relaxed. Now keep that position, keep this position as long as you like. Nice and relaxed. We're going to breathe through it. Stay there until you're done. And congratulations, we're finished. I'll see you next time.